Have you ever stood up for just a second, only to find your dog has already claimed your seat, like it's been theirs all along? Maybe they even nudge you out of the way gently, or stare at you with those big eyes daring you to ask for it back. At first it might seem cute, or even a little annoying. But what if I told you this little habit actually hides something much deeper? You see, dogs don't do things randomly. Every choice they make, even where they sit, comes from instinct, emotion, and connection. And when your dog takes your spot, it's not just about finding a warm cushion. It could be about missing you, trusting you, or even loving you in a way that words can't explain. Over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover 9 surprising reasons why your dog keeps stealing your seat, and what each one reveals about your bond with them. So let's begin, not with a command or a fact, but with one of the simplest, most overlooked reasons. That might just change how you see this little habit forever. Number 9. They love your scent to your dog. Your scent isn't just familiar, it's everything. Imagine your scent as a warm, invisible blanket that stays behind even when you're gone. The moment you leave your chair, that space becomes a memory soaked in comfort, love, and security. And for your dog, that's irresistible. Dogs experience the world through their noses. Their sense of smell is up to 100,000 times more sensitive than ours. While we might walk past a chair without a second thought, your dog walks straight into what feels like a symphony of emotions, your scent woven into the fabric, your warmth lingering like sunlight on an old porch. When your dog curls up in your seat, they're not just borrowing a spot. They're wrapping themselves in you. It's their way of staying close, even when you're not there. That cushion still holds traces of the way you sat, the stress or calm in your body, the natural oils of your skin, even the faint traces of what you ate for lunch. To your dog, that's not just information, it's intimacy. And think about this in the wild dog stick close to their pack. Sleeping together isn't just about warmth, it's about bonding. It's protection, trust, and connection all rolled into one. So when your dog chooses your seat, they're not just being cute. They're saying, "You're my person. And this right here is where I feel safest." So the next time your dog claims your spot, the second you stand up, don't be too quick to shoo them away. They're not just being opportunistic. They're reaching for the one thing that makes them feel secure in an unpredictable world, the scent of you. And speaking of feeling secure, there's another reason dogs love your seat, and it has nothing to do with smell. It has everything to do with being seen. Let's move on to reason number 8. They crave your attention. Let's be honest, your dog knows exactly how to get your attention. And taking your seat, it's one of their favorite moves in the playbook. You might think they're just being sneaky or silly, but what they're really doing is stepping onto center stage. That seat you just left to them, it's the spotlight. And they've just made their grand entrance. Dogs are masters of presence. They don't send texts. They don't wait in silence. When they want you, they show you. Jumping into your spot is like them gently tapping you on the shoulder and whispering, "Hey, notice me." And not just from across the room, right there. Right where you were. Right where your energy still hums in the air. Sometimes they'll sit proudly in your chair and look you right in the eye-tail, thumping as if to say, "Look what I did." Other times they'll nudge up next to you, half in the seat, half in your lap, folding themselves into your space, like a love letter sealed in fur and heartbeat. It's not just affection, it's strategy. Your seat has power. It means proximity, attention, closeness. And they know it. For a dog especially, one bonded deeply to their human being, ignored, feels like a fading light. So they spark it back to life the only way they know how stepping into your world, your warmth, your space. And in that moment, they're not just claiming a cushion, they're claiming you. Your gaze, your hands, your time. And here's the twist: the more you react, whether with laughter, surprise, or gentle scolding, the more they learn that this works. They're not being manipulative, they're being intuitive, smart, desperate in the most tender way. But there's another reason they might take your seat. One that has nothing to do with emotions and everything to do with temperature. Let's talk about reason number 7, and the secret your body leaves behind every time you get up. Number 7. They seek your warmth. Think about the last time you left your chair. It wasn't just empty, it was warm. That leftover heat radiating gently from where your body had been is like a silent invitation. And to your dog, that warmth is magnetic. Not because it's yours, at least not only because it's yours, but because it feels like a sunbeam with your name on it. Dogs are drawn to warmth the way flowers stretch toward the light. They are heat-seeking by design. With body temperatures higher than ours and fur that sometimes traps more chill than comfort, they're constantly searching for little pockets of heat, places where they can melt into softness and safety. Your seat, freshly abandoned, is the perfect spot. It holds the trace of you, but it also holds the echo of comfort. It's like your body left behind a whisper, and they just want to lie in it a little longer. But it's more than just physical comfort. Warmth to a dog is emotional too. In the wild, dogs curl up together for survival, piles of fur and breath, keeping one another safe through cold nights. At home, that instinct is still alive. So when your dog hops into the seat you just left, they're not just enjoying the temperature. They're honoring an ancient ritual. Curling up in your warmth is their way of feeling close, connected, and calm. And maybe you've noticed once they settle in, they don't move quickly. They turn a few circles. They sigh. They tuck their paws and close their eyes like they've found a secret hiding place no one else knows about. That seat isn't just a spot, it's a sanctuary. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Sometimes it's not about scent, or love, or even warmth. Sometimes your dog takes your seat because they see it as yours. And that means it's valuable, desirable, worth claiming. So let's go deeper into reason number 6, and the subtle, surprising way dogs use seats to bond with us without saying a single word. Number 6. That's how they bond with you. Have you ever noticed the way your dog follows you from room to room, not just with their feet, but with their gaze, their breath, their presence? They don't always want something. They just want you. So when they curl into the seat you just left, it's not just about comfort or curiosity. It's a quiet act of connection, a gesture of emotional mirroring, their version of a hug. In the animal world, bonding doesn't always look the way we expect. It's not about words or grand displays. Sometimes it's about sharing space. Dogs in the wild will lie side by side backs, touching, breathing in rhythm. It's a form of trust, of mutual peace. At home, that instinct lives on. Your dog isn't just taking your seat, they're saying, "This is where we belong." And think about how they do it. They don't race in with chaos. Often they wait. A beat, a pause. They watch you rise, they see the shift in energy, and then they ease into the space you left behind. It's deliberate, gentle, almost reverent. As if by sitting where you sat, they're keeping the conversation going. Even in silence. Some dogs will even scoot closer, touching your side without demanding anything. Just a shared moment. A physical echo of your presence. They don't need the whole chair. Just enough of it to feel like they're still next to you. Still part of whatever you're doing. Still in sync. And this is where things get deeper. Because to a dog, bonding isn't always about closeness. It's about continuity, about preserving a feeling. And by settling into your seat, they're threading their world into yours. Stitch by stitch, scent by scent, sit by sit. But sometimes it's not just love or instinct. Sometimes it's curiosity that drives them, a need to explore what you've touched, to decode the invisible stories left behind. And that brings us to reason number 5, and why your dog sometimes circles your seat like a little detective on a mission. Number 5, curiosity. They're investigating your world. Have you ever seen your dog approach your chair slowly, nose to the cushion, sniffing like they've just stepped into a crime scene? Their tail might be still, their eyes focused, their breath quiet. It's not random. It's instinct. Because to your dog, your seat holds clues like a living diary made of scent and shape, and they're determined to read every line. Dogs are natural investigators. The world speaks to them in whispers we can't hear. Every place you've been, every feeling you've had, leaves a trace. And your seat? That's ground zero. It holds your mood, your movement, the pressure of your body, the story of your day. Did you sit there after a long walk? Did you eat a snack? Were you calm? Anxious? Your dog can tell, not in words, but in signals woven into the very fabric of the cushion. When they circle the chair or pause before jumping in, they're not just looking for comfort. They're exploring, learning, gathering pieces of you. Your dog sees your seat, like a child might see a parent's jacket, something sacred, something worth discovering. And in that discovery, they feel close to you again. Sometimes they'll dig a little with their paw, or nudge the side with their nose. It's not mischief, it's curiosity in motion. They're mapping the warmth, testing the softness, checking for crumbs or leftover smells. They're asking, what were you doing here? And more importantly, can I be part of it? But once the mystery is satisfied, they don't just move on. No, they often settle in as if to say, now I understand. Now I belong here too. Yet not all moments are about investigation. Sometimes your dog takes your spot simply because they can sense something you can't. Something in your energy, your heartbeat, your stillness. And what they do next is all about comfort on a deeper, more intuitive level. So let's unravel that in reason number 4. They can feel your comfort. There's something remarkable about the way dogs tune into us, not just our words or routines, but the subtle things. The quiet, the calm, the stillness in our breathing, the way we hold our shoulders when we're relaxed. And somehow they know. They notice. They feel it in their bones. So when you stand up from your chair, your dog isn't just taking your spot. They're stepping into your calm. Think about it. Your favorite seat isn't just comfortable because of its shape. It's comfortable because of how it holds you. The rhythm of your breath settles there. The echo of your heartbeat lingers in the cushion. And to your dog, that chair becomes a pocket of peace. A space where you felt safe. A space that now calls to them like a whisper in the air. When your dog curls up in that very spot, they're doing more than seeking softness. They're aligning themselves with your energy. They've seen you sit there, watched your shoulders drop, your eyes soften, your tension melt. And in their own quiet way, they want that too. Not just the warmth, but the feeling that came with it. The emotional blueprint you left behind. They don't need explanations. They don't need an invitation. They just move gently into that space, as if drawn by gravity, by something ancient and unspoken. Because dogs don't just want to be near us. They want to be us for a moment, to feel what we felt, to rest the way we did. And just when you think it's all about emotions, there's a more primal reason behind this behavior, something far older than comfort or scent. It's about territory, ownership, the deep-rooted instinct to claim what's valuable in their world. Let's unpack that next in reason number 3. They're claiming their territory. Sometimes your dog doesn't wait for you to leave the seat. They push their nose into your side, nudge your leg, or gently muscle their way into your space, as if to say, "Make room. This belongs to me now." It's not disrespect. It's not mischief. It's instinct pure and ancient. Dogs, no matter how sweet or domesticated, carry the DNA of wild canines. And in the wild territory is survival. It's not just about space. It's about identity, safety, and control. When your dog takes your seat, they're not just curling up for a nap. They're putting a flag in the ground, marking their place in your shared world. Not as a rebellion, but as a declaration, "I belong here. This space, this scent, this warmth, it's part of me." They might rub against the cushion knead with their paws or circle before settling. These aren't random actions. They're rituals. Each movement leaves behind their scent subtle signals that say, "I've been here. I own this," even if only for a moment. And it's not about dominance. It's about comfort in familiarity. Like writing their name on a favorite book or hanging a picture in a room, they're making your space a little more theirs. And if you try to reclaim the seat, you might notice a glance, a tiny tilt of the head, maybe even that smug little look dogs give when they've won something. It's not arrogance, it's satisfaction. Because for them, securing a space, especially one tied to you, means they're safe, grounded, and in control of their world. But here's where things get even more layered. Because sometimes it's not just territory. It's about status. A silent social ladder. A hierarchy. One where your dog may be trying to show you exactly where they think they stand. And that's what we'll explore in reason number 2. They're climbing the social ladder. Have you ever felt like your dog was testing you just a little? Maybe they slide into your seat before you've even fully stood up. Or maybe they nudge your leg with quiet insistence, claiming the cushion while looking you dead in the eye. It might feel playful, even cheeky. But behind that gaze, there's a centuries-old instinct at work. One that has nothing to do with comfort and everything to do with status. Dogs are social animals, not just affectionate, but hierarchical. In every group, from wolves in the wild to pups in the park, there's an order, a subtle dance of roles, routines, and unspoken rules. Your home. It's no exception. It might not feel like a pack, but to your dog, it absolutely is. And sometimes, taking your seat is their way of gently testing where they stand in that structure. They're not challenging you, not in a confrontational way, but by slipping into your spot, especially when you're still near, they're saying, "What happens if I take the top place?" In many dog groups, the leader claims the best resting spots, those with the view, the warmth, the height, the closeness to resources. So when your dog takes your seat, they might be exploring what it feels like to be at the top of the ladder, even just for a moment. And watch their body language when they do it. The raised head, the stillness. Sometimes even that regal look, chin high back, straight, as if they're wearing an invisible crown. It's not just a nap. It's a statement. A small, silent question. Am I the leader now? But here's the twist. They don't always want to be. Often they're looking to see where you place them. Your reaction, your boundaries, your energy, that's what tells them who they are. So in claiming your seat, they're not just asserting power. They're asking a question only you can answer. And finally, we arrive at the most endearing reason of all. One that has less to do with instincts and more to do with imitation. Because sometimes when your dog takes your seat, it's not about status or scent at all. It's about love. Let's finish this journey with reason number 1. They're mimicking you. There's something almost magical about the way dogs mirror us. Not just in routine, but in rhythm, in silence, in stillness. If you tend to sit in the same chair each day, your dog notices. They've watched you relax there, read there, maybe sip your coffee, or close your eyes after a long day. And in their own quiet way, they're learning not just your patterns, but your presence. When your dog takes your seat, it's not just a choice, it's a tribute. They're stepping into your world not to challenge it, but to become part of it. Dogs are masters of mimicry, especially with the people they love most. They walk when you walk. They pause when you pause. And sometimes they rest where you rest simply, because that's where you find peace. It's almost like they're trying to understand you by becoming you. Like a child slipping into a parent's shoes or curling up in a sweater that still smells like home. It's not about possession. It's about connection. It's about saying, you are the center of my world, and I want to feel what you feel, even just for a little while. And sometimes that mimicry becomes a ritual. You get up, they slide in. You smile, they sigh. You return, and they look up at you with a soft, knowing gaze, as if they're saying, "See, I'm with you." Always. There's no performance here, no trick. Just a living, breathing mirror of your own routines and comforts. So the next time you come back to find your seat taken, try not to see it as an interruption. See it as an offering, a reflection, a quiet form of love. Because in that simple act, your dog isn't just claiming a cushion. They're claiming you, your scent, your habits, your life, as something worth following. And now that you know the 9 reasons why your dog takes your seat, the question becomes, what will you do with that knowledge? Before we close, let's talk about how to respond gently, wisely, and why this tiny moment might be a bigger opportunity than you ever imagined. Now you know it was never just about the chair. That simple moment when your dog hops into your spot isn't random. It's not a habit. It's a language. One without words. A way for them to say, "I love you. I trust you. I miss you." Or even, "I want to be like you." Whether it's your scent, your warmth, your energy, or your example, they're drawn to it. To you. And maybe next time you see them curled in your place, instead of asking them to move, you'll pause, smile, sit nearby, share the space for a little while longer, because what they're really asking for is closeness. And for a dog, closeness is everything. Of course, if you need your seat back, it's okay to gently redirect them, offering a cozy blanket, a favorite spot, or just your hand. They don't need much, just a reminder that they still belong beside you. These little moments, quiet, ordinary, overlooked, are often where the deepest bonds live. Your dog isn't trying to be stubborn. They're trying to stay connected. And now that you know the reasons, you can meet them with more understanding, more grace, and maybe even more love. So what does your dog's favorite seat say about your relationship? If this video helped you see things differently, give it a like and share it with someone who loves their dog as much as you do. Drop a comment and tell us, has your dog ever stolen your seat? What do you think they were trying to say? And don't forget to subscribe. Because in the next video, we're diving into 10 surprising things your dog wishes you understood, but can't say out loud. Trust me, you won't want to miss it.